Do 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 do. Hello, welcome to hello. Right, we are good, we are live, everybody is here. Hello and welcome to the Europa League draw for Tottenham Hotspur. They will find out who they're going to be playing in the Europa League this season, of course, back in Europe after missing out last season, finishing 5th in the Premier League, getting themselves back onto that European stage. I hope everybody is having a lovely day. I hope we are all excited to see how Spurs are going to get on in this draw. And yeah, let's see how we go. How is everyone? Appreciate everybody in the comments. Neil, I see you. How you doing, mate? Here we go, Kevin. Great tune. Appreciate it. I've been working on my singing. I'm a bit sort of like a bit scruffy. I've literally not long got out of the shower, but we are here. I am really looking forward to this. Having watched the Champions League draw yesterday, it was just such a weird experience because, of course, the whole format has changed and they just had Cristiano Ronaldo sitting there pressing a button for ages. It's absolutely crazy. Joshua, how's it going? Nice to see you guys in the chat. Welcome along. Welcome to the channel if you are new. Don't forget to hit the like button on the video, guys, and subscribe if you fancy it as well. Everybody's support does wonders for me. And yeah, we'll crack straight on. We'll get straight into things. I want to click onto this because there are a few things that I want to talk about before we get into the draw. Because naturally, the Europa League draw has literally just started. So if you guys watched the Champions League draw yesterday, you will know that they didn't actually get on with the draw for like 15-20 minutes after the programme started. So I'm happy to talk to you guys for a while, and I want to talk about some things relating to Spurs because we have had a little bit of news this morning regarding the game against Newcastle at the weekend. There's a few other bits, obviously transfer deadline day as well. It doesn't look like Tottenham are going to be very active in that. So we'll talk about that first for maybe the first 5-10 minutes, and then hopefully by the time we've done that, Spurs will be finding out who they're going to get in the Europa League draw. The good thing is we will find out our fixtures quite early in the draw because they do it seeded by pots. And pot 1 obviously is where Spurs are because, you know, Tottenham, European pedigree, UEFA Cup winners, of course, on 2 different occasions. But yeah, really looking forward to doing this with you guys. Anybody else in the chat? Sneaker Dog, how's it going? Yo, Friedman, hello. I am new here. Been with you on X for a long time. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Just an FYI for you guys watching as well, I will have my Newcastle preview out on the channel. It's scheduled to go out at 4 o'clock, so make sure you watch that this afternoon as well. It's Friday. You guys have the time. Nobody really wants to do too much work on the Friday, do they? But moving on. Tottenham then. While we wait for this draw to get going fully, Spurs, of course, are playing Newcastle in the Premier League this weekend. And it is looking like there's a little bit of bad news on the injury front, in the sense that it looks like Dominic Solanke is remaining doubtful, and Richarlison felt something in the game against Everton last week, that 4-0 win. So it's looking likely that both Dominic Solanke and Richarlison may not be available for the trip to St James's Park. However, the good news is that Van de Ven is expected to be available for selection. I think that's the good news. The good news is that we're going to be able to see Van de Ven playing, which is he's a very hard man to replace. So that is also really, really good news. Matthew saying all roads leading to a Jose Fenerbahce match during the knockouts. Oof. That would be absolutely insane. I saw Fred scored a hat-trick for them the other night. It's just, he's such a Jose Mourinho player, isn't he? Just absolutely insane. But yeah, Stitchy, hi from SA. Is that South Africa? Amazing if that's where you're watching from, dude. Nice to hear from you. Richarlison's out because he felt a knock to his ego. Yeah, possibly. He looked pretty miserable on the bench. But look, I wanted to talk about this first of all before they get into the draw. Transfer deadline day. it seems that Tottenham's business is done. What are we thinking overall? Because I put this tweet out last night, and I sort of broke down Tottenham's transfer window. 125 million spent. We've raised 42 million from sales, 5 players into the club, 8 players out for good, plus a load of other sort of loan deals going out as well. Wage bill down by £32 million, and the average age of the squad has been reduced from like 28, 29 down to 25. And I asked the question, has Tottenham's transfer window been as bad as some are making out? Because it's a very difficult one to sort of say, and I personally don't think the transfer window has been as bad as some people are making out. It's really, really difficult, because I know that we are all disappointed that we haven't brought in perhaps another centre-back or a left-back to provide cover for Van der Ven and Udogie. Completely get those frustrations. But we've been banging on for years about how Tottenham need to get rid of the deadwood. And they look like they've finally done that. So it's a really, really difficult one. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Kevin saying I'd just get Lancashire and above Richarlison moving forward. Yeah, I could see that happening, to be honest. I think Richarlison will leave next summer. Personally, I think that's how it'll go. SK saying I'm also from South Africa. Big up to you guys in South Africa. Hope you are all having a lovely day. I'm just gonna tweet under here just to let people know that I am live. Looks like they are just showing some highlights from last season's Europa League, I think. But yeah, what I want to do is, for those that are perhaps still a little bit confused about how the process works with the Europa League, I will go through this thread that I put out the other day explaining how the draw works. So obviously we know, like the Champions League, the format has changed. Things are a bit different now, and in that sense, it's no longer split into groups. We've got one big league table, 36 teams involved. So instead of being split into groups of 4, they are split into a 36 league group table. So everybody is in the same league. Each team will play 8 matches instead of the usual 3. They will play 4 games at home, 4 games away from home. However, that is all automatically generated. So essentially, I think it's this fella here that they've just introduced. If you've got the stream up as well, Ruiz or Adrian Ruiz, he will pick out the teams from the pot, and then someone will press a big button in the middle of a stage, and it will automatically assign the teams that each players will face up again. Essentially, a note that Spurs cannot play Manchester United in this phase. We cannot play teams from our own country. And as Man United are the only other English team in the Europa League, we cannot play them, and we can only play a maximum of 2 teams from the same country. So we can't play more than 2 French teams, can't play more than 2 Spanish teams, etc., etc., if you get what I'm saying. 4 matches played at home, 4 away, and it is top 8 who qualify automatically for the knockout stage. If you finish outside of that top 8, from 9th to 24th, you get entered into a playoff round. So if you don't get through in the top 9, in the top 8, if you finish between 9 and 24 out of 36, you will go into a playoff round where you will face an opponent, I believe, over 2 legs. If you overcome them there, you will then move on to the knockout stage with those 8 teams that qualified automatically. Teams cannot drop into the lower competitions after the league phase is over, meaning that no Champions League teams can drop into the Europa League, no Europa League teams can drop into the Europa Conference League, which is, I think, good for Tottenham, because we won't have, let's say Barcelona have a really poor Champions League campaign. They can't then drop into the Europa League, which I think is good. I think it's better that way, although it does virtually guarantee that Chelsea are going to win the Europa Conference League, because I've had a look at the teams in that competition. It's just absolutely ridiculous, if I'm being honest with you. So, it's a weird one. The draw itself will see 36 teams picked out, before a designated automated software will randomly pick 8 opponents, as well as which matches will be home and away. So unfortunately, for those that may like to go to Europa League, and I'm hoping I'm going to get out to one of these away Europa League games this season. I really want to go out to 1 or 2 of them if I can, and it's good that we've got 4 away now instead of 3. Hopefully gives me a better chance. It's randomly designated, so we could have like a lovely trip to, say, Bilbao, or we could only play them at home. We'll have to wait and see. And then the first round of matches will begin in the last week of September. So we still do have about 3 or 4 weeks until the Europa League group stage or league phase will start. And then I added a lovely little tweet at the end there that says, at the end, Tottenham will lift the trophy. I am excited. The draw is about to get underway. So I want to show you the sort of confirmed pots while we get underway. And I'll give you sort of a live commentary as we go through. Hopefully it is going to be a good draw for Tottenham. But I will catch up on the comments. Good luck. Good luck is Italian. Nice to hear that. The loudest Spurs fans on X want Spurs to spend 200 million every window, not realising we will end up like Leeds back at the start of the century. I'm really happy with what Spurs have done. Yeah, great to hear, Neil. I'm glad you're happy, man. South Africa, I've been a Spurs fan since FIFA 20 because our football sucks. We've only had that semi-final run in AFCON, but I found my love for Spurs inside. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, Stitchy. And welcome. We welcome you with open arms, and hopefully you can get over to watch Spurs in the flesh one day as well. That would be great. SK is saying, are we only getting the fixtures tomorrow? I believe so. I believe they all get allocated tomorrow, so we will find out quite quickly, which is nice. Kevin saying, I like the new format personally, even though they only did it for more money gained, more ad revenue. Yeah, they did it to make it very similar to the Super League format that was proposed. It's like their way of counteracting it and making it more like the Super League, more big matches against each other. That's the main reason, but I actually quite like it. I like the new format. I think it's a nice change, something a bit different, which is really, really, maybe perhaps overdue. But we'll see. Wouldn't mind seeing Dorrington get a nod over Davis if needed. Opponents only today. Yes, opponents only today. And whether we will play them home or away. I looked at this window setting us up for the post-Pep City League starting next year. Would still like a centre-back or left-back cover. Overall progress, but a little bit let down. Understandable. I think that's the general consensus, isn't it? The general consensus with the Europa League is that. So, we'll see. We'll see how we get on. We are short. But it is what it is. Window's looking like it's going to shut without any more incomings, and we will have to make do with it. It's going to need some under 21 games from up. So yeah, with Dorrington, yeah. So they're essentially explaining the rules of the draw right now. So the way it will work is we will play 2 teams from each pot. So if you look at pot 1, the big teams that Tottenham could face in this pot are Roma, Porto, Ajax, Rangers, Frankfurt, Lazio, or Slavia Prague. They are the teams we can play. Can't play Man United. We'll play 2 of those. Then we will play 2 of Real Sociedad, AZ Alkmaar, Braga, Olympiacos, Lyon, PAOK, Fenerbahce, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Is Robbie Keane still in charge of those guys? That would be a cool one to have. But yeah, and then I don't even want to try and pronounce that pot 2 name. Ferencvaros. Is that right? Does that sound right? And then 2 from pot 3, Karabag, Galatasaray, Victoria Plen, Bodo/Glimt. Who struggled against them last year? Was that Man? They were in the Champions League, right? Yeah, they were that team that caused. Was it Real Madrid a few problems? Union SG, Dinamo Kiev, Ludogorets, Midtjylland, Malmo, and then pot 4. Pot 4 have actually got some decent teams in, Athletic Bilbao, Hoffenheim, Nice, Anderlecht, Twente, FC Twente, Besiktas, FCSB, I'm not sure who that is, RFS, again not sure, and Elfsborg as well. So, do you know what? If I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, I actually think there's some decent teams in all of those pots. It's not going to be easy. However, I would back us against every single one of those teams. I would favour us to win against every single one of these teams. And that's why I'm so excited about the Europa League this season, why I'm so keen for us to win it. So keen for us to win it. I really, really hope that we can do it, man. I've been waiting so long. I want to get out to Bilbao. I was speaking to one of my work colleagues earlier. I want to get out to Bilbao. I want to go to the final, even if I don't end up getting a ticket for it. I want to get out there. I want everything going into this Europa League this season. I hope Ange and the players replicate that. I really, really do. But, so what did I say? I said I reckon 10, 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes till they get the draw underway. We are about to get underway in the draw. They are just talking through the pot 1 teams, and I believe we are imminently going to start drawing them. So here we go. Let's find out what awaits Tottenham in the Europa League. Who do we want to face? Any teams you'd love to face? Let me know. Mitch, I hope you know that I'm a day one supporter of you and your channel. When you blow up, remember my name. I was your number 1 fan, brother. Keep on going. I'll support you. No, I appreciate the kind words, man. Really appreciate it. First team pulled out of the pot is Rangers. Rangers out of the pot first. Neil says, I live in Belfast and Rangers have a massive following over here, so I wouldn't mind us drawing them. We're about to find out who Rangers are going to draw. I think Adjuries is about to hit the big button that randomly draws the teams. So let's figure it out. Let's find out. Rangers. Tottenham. We are going away to Rangers. We are going away to Rangers. That's a tough game. Tough game. So, Tottenham at home, Man United away, Lyon at home, Olympiacos away, Union SG Malmo, FCSB and Nice. They are Rangers fixtures. So Tottenham will be heading to Ibrox to a very, very difficult atmosphere against a difficult team to play Rangers. What do we make of that? What do we make of that? Tough one. Would have preferred to play Rangers at home, of course, I think. But Rangers away. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Who comes out next? Next team coming out is going to be AS Roma. Roma. Of course, Jose Mourinho's old haunt. Italian team. Let's see who they're going to face. I'm saying I like the draw with Rangers. Tottenham. We have Tottenham. So our 2 pot 1 teams have been decided already. Pot 1 teams have been decided already. So we will be going away to Rangers and we will be playing Roma at home. What do we make of those 2 from pot 1? Happy? Not happy? I think they're probably 2 of the tougher teams in pot 1, if I'm being honest with you. But I wish we were playing Roma away. I wish we were playing Roma away, man. I want some nice away days. I think they're down, but Ange is used to playing there in short trip for and away. Ange has experience with that, yeah, definitely in terms of Rangers. So we will be playing Roma and Rangers from pot 1. Happy with that? So far, so good, says Neil. Yeah, don't mind it. I would have loved to have played Roma away. A trip to Rome. That's a brilliant away day. It's such a shame. Such a shame. They have drawn Frankfurt out next, who have picked up Slavia Prague and Roma from pot 1. They'll also be playing Lyon. So far, so good. So far, so good. I don't mind it. We could have had Porto. Could have had Ajax, Frankfurt, Lazio, Slavia Prague. I don't think Roma and Rangers are that bad. I don't think they're that bad at all. Who is the next pot 1 team going to be drawn out? Come on, give us Tottenham. Give us Tottenham. Come on. It's going to be out of the pot, FC Porto. Porto next. Let's see who they are going to be drawn against. Let's see. Obviously, none of these teams left now can draw Tottenham. So we'll have to wait and see. Oh, Porto got Man United and Lazio from pot 1. Tough games. Lazio or Roma would have been good. How many ex-Jose teams are there in the Europa League? I know, that's a very, very good point. Man United, Roma, Fenerbahce, Tottenham. So many. So many. He's been about, hasn't he? Old Jose Mourinho. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I wonder if the Europa League are live tweeting any of this stuff. Rangers. Yeah, Artisa Dries, Slavia Prague, next pot 1 team drawn out. The prize, look at the prize. How great would it be? How great would it be to watch us lifting that in Bilbao at the end of the season, guys? Would be incredible. Would be incredible. Where are the pots gone? So, Slavia Prague have Ajax and Frankfurt from pot 1, it looks like. There we go. Grab that back up. Grab that back up. Actually, I'm probably live tweeting about it now. Oh no, I don't want to spoil the surprise in case my stream's behind by like a second or two. Don't want to spoil the surprise. Next team out, only 4 left in pot 1. Is it going to be Tottenham's time? It's going to be Manchester United's time. Interesting one. Who are Man United going to get? Let's have a look at their fixtures. They are going to get Rangers, Porto. So they've got some pretty decent draw out of pot 1, to be honest. Rangers, Porto, PAOK, Fenerbahce, Bodo Glimt, Victoria Plzen, 20 and FCB. I mean, that probably couldn't have gone much better for Man United. They have got to go to Fenerbahce away, which will be tough. Jose Mourinho's team, of course. Man United playing against Jose Mourinho in Fenerbahce. But in all honesty, I think those are pretty decent fixtures for Man United. It's very, very likely, guys, that we play Athletic Bilbao. Tottenham next out. Here we go. Tottenham's fixtures. Here we go. Here we go. Who are we going to get? So we obviously have Roma and Rangers. Let's see who else Tottenham are drawn against. Come on. Be nice. Give us some decent away days. AZ Alkmaar. Oh. Jesus. That is... Right, so Tottenham will play AZ Alkmaar, Ferencváros, Karabag, Galatasaray away. That's tough. Elfsborg and Hoffenheim. Very, very interesting. These are Tottenham's fixtures. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. These are Tottenham's fixtures. What do we think? Roma at home. Rangers away. AZ Alkmaar at home. Ferencváros away, which is in Hungary. Karabag away, which is that Azerbaijan? Where is Karabag again? Yeah, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. Galatasaray away in Turkey. Elfsborg, Sweden. But it's at home, and then Hoffenheim away. What do we think? Tottenham's fixtures. What do we make of those? Very, very interesting. But we didn't draw Bilbao, who are probably the top team in sort of pot 1, pot 4. Oh yes, Karabag at home, of course. So 4 home games. Roma at home, Alkmaar at home, Karabag at home, and Elfsborg at home. Do you know what? You probably would have wanted all 3 of those games away for wanting the away fixtures. And then Rangers away, Ferencváros away, Galatasaray away, Hoffenheim away. I mean, could not get much of a better draw in terms of moving on top 8, says Matthew. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's the positive to take away from it, I think, isn't it? For sure. Yeah, pretty decent draw. Great point. Troy Parrott will return and play against Tottenham in the Europa League. Crazy. Don't want Elfsborg away because of the weather. Yeah, great point, I guess, I think. Are you trying to insinuate that the weather's going to be like really cold? I don't know. It would have been cool to go to Sweden though, in my opinion. I think it would have been quite cool. Let's see what people are saying then. How are people reacting? I'm just going to get my tweet out there, so bear with me. Draw very favourable for Spurs. Once again, no excuses not to make it through to the knockout rounds. Hashtag THFC. Keep hold of that. Have we got a Europa League? You've seen me work in progress, guys. Matthew said at least Karabakh isn't in Azerbaijan. We went there a few years ago in the Europa. Yes, you are right, actually, aren't you? That is a very, very good point. Have Spurs tweeted out the opponents yet? I don't think they have. But that is not too bad. That is not too bad. Should we steal this picture quickly? Steal this picture. Actually, I might just wait for Spurs to get their tweet out, because it will look more professional, perhaps. But yeah, don't actually. No, we'll pop it out. We'll pop it out. Let's do it. No excuses not to make it through to the knockout rounds. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's fair? You're saying snow and everything. Remember Chelsea playing in Norway back in the day and the pitch absolutely covered in snow. Yeah, very good point. Very, very good point. On paper, we should not lose a single game in this draw. All of those teams except Roma is like a Leicester City. Yeah, it's a great observation, actually. Really, really good observation. I think away trips in Europe are always difficult. They're always tough. This is crazy, by the way, Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea. Absolutely nuts. But I think in terms of away trips, Rangers away is not going to be easy, regardless as to the level that they play at. It's always quite difficult. But going away to places like Hungary, Galatasaray away, don't underestimate that, because that will be a very tough game in a very hostile atmosphere. If you do end up going out to Galatasaray, just be very, very careful, is what I would say. We'll have to see, but, you know, feel like Moore, Lancashire, Gray and Berg will get tons of game time and a great experience. Galatasaray away is rubbish, but apart from that, it's a good draw. Yeah, agree with the observations for sure in terms of that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but you'd rather play Roma at home, Alkmaar. So if we go one by one, you'd back us to beat Roma at home. Rangers away will be tough, but of course we know that we're probably a bit of a better team than Rangers. AZ Alkmaar, Troy Parrott's team, you would back us to win that. Probably away, at home rather. Ferencvaros. I don't really know anything about Ferencvaros at all. So obviously playing Hungary. They play in Hungary. Where did they finish last season? Okay, so they are the Hungarian champions, Ferencvaros, and they won the league comfortably last season. Were they in the Europa League last season? No. Were they in the Europa League Conference League last season? Yes. And they got 10 points in a group with Fiorentina and Genk. Okay, so I think the takeaway from that is Ferencvaros probably not a bad team. Did pretty decent in the Europa League, Conference League last season. They've played in the Champions League before 2020-21 season, but came bottom of their group with 1 point in a group of Juventus, Barca and Dinamo Kiev. So, it's a very, very interesting one. Very, very interesting one. As well as that, you've got Galatasaray away. Tough game. You'd argue maybe the toughest game in that league phase for us will be Galatasaray away. We know what that could be like. Galatasaray away. Very, very interesting one. Elfsborg at home. How did Elfsborg get on in their league last season? Obviously, they did relatively well because they are in the Europa League. They lost to Molde yesterday 1-0. Obviously, they are a lot further through their season. They play it year on year. So they're currently 5th in their league at the moment. Definitely some tough games, but should all be winnable for sure. We should win it. Have no excuses. You got boys out there in Galatasaray. Nice. How well has Ange done at Rangers in the past? Very, very well. Very well. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a very, very interesting one. They're in it this year. Is it their first time in Europe, Elfsborg? Quite possibly. Where'd they finish last season? 2nd. Oh, wow. They lost out on the league title and goal difference to Malmo last season. The difference between Champions League and Europa League. Pretty crazy. Is Roma going to be scary? I back us to beat Roma at home. It'll be a tough game, no doubt, because Roma are a good team on their day. But I back us to beat Roma at home. I really, really do. And then Hoffenheim away. How did Hoffenheim get on in the Bundesliga last season, and how have they started at the moment? They won their first game this season. Last season, Hoffenheim came 7th. Okay, not too bad. Goal difference of 0, 14 losses, 13 wins. So we'll see. 2018, 2019 was the last time they were in Europe, and 2021 was the last time they were in the Europa League. So pretty favourable overall. I think to summarise, this Europa League draw for Spurs has been pretty decent. We can't complain. And as I said in my tweet, no excuses, in my opinion, not to get through this. Spurs have tweeted that out. Some nice graphics. Very decent graphics. Spurs Roma. Rangers Spurs. Spurs Alkmaar. Fenerbahce Spurs. Spurs Karabag. Spurs Galatasaray. Spurs Elfsborg. Spurs Hoffenheim. Happy. Could you show Man United draws? Yeah, I can have a look at the Man United draws if you want. Let's have a look at Man United's draws, which is here. Rangers at home for Man United. Porto away for Manchester United. PAOK at home. Fenerbahce away, which would be tough. Bodo Glimt. Victoria Plzen, 20 and FC SB. I think realistically, guys, both us and United go through. I think that if we don't, then it's a huge shock. A huge shock. I don't know if the Europa League have tweeted out any graphics or anything yet for it. No, they haven't. But yeah, that's the draw for the Europa League. I mean, they're still going through pots 2 and 3, so it is a long process. A long process. I like that graphic. I like looking at it from this perspective. Homes and aways and from which pots each team came from. So, I will predict that we will win 6 of the games. I reckon we win 6 of them. We may lose 1 or we may drop points in 1 or 2, but I don't see why we don't. No excuses not to win the whole thing. We have the best squad in the Europa. Yeah, of course, Man United will fancy themselves as well, but they're so unpredictable. I think the draw overall is pretty good. Home games at home, maybe it's at Roma, should all be wins. Being perfectly honest with you, I think that we should win every single game at home, regardless of the team that we play. I think every game Tottenham Hotspur play at home should be a win for Tottenham. So, obviously I know that it doesn't necessarily work like that, but even if we play Man City at home, I'm still saying we have a chance of beating them. So if you get the gist and the vibe I'm sort of coming from, that is what I would suggest. I want to go out to one or two of the away games, but which ones will I want to go to? I mean, Rangers away would be cool, but it's not that far, only up to Ibrox. Perhaps Hoffenheim away and Ferencvaros away, trips to Hungary and trips to Germany. I think out of those ones there, Hoffenheim away appeals to me the most. That's what I would want to go with. I think that would be a pretty good experience, but who knows? We could have picked up some more difficult teams. But that is our opponents. That is the Europa League draw. I don't know if I don't really see there's much point in waiting to see the rest of the draw, because they're only on pot 3. They only just started pot 3. It's just a long process, isn't it? So yeah, do you know what? I think in terms of that, we've seen what we need to see. Europa League draw has been completed from Tottenham's perspective. Europa League table predictions: Tottenham at the top, obviously. Maximum points. If it was me, I'd do Rangers and Galatasaray. Being in the USA, it's not it's a far trip. Yeah, for sure. I'll see. It would depend on whether I can get tickets, because I think for the league phase, I'd want to actually have tickets to those games. Bilbao, I'd go even if I didn't have a ticket. But wanted Tottenham away in Porto. It's my dream to watch Tottenham in the stadium. Can't travel. You live in Porto. That would have been so cool, man. Maybe if they get through to the knockout stage and we get through, maybe we'll play them in the knockout stages. Who knows, man? But look, the Europa League draw is still going on, but I'm going to end it because I do have a few things to do this afternoon. But I've got a video coming out at 4 p.m, preview for the Newcastle game, so make sure you guys give that a watch. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody that came along and watched this stream with me, watched Tottenham get their Europa League opponents. I think it went relatively well. I think obviously it could have gone better, it could have gone worse, but the whole idea of this new format is that Tottenham play bigger games, that every team played bigger games, and I think they've achieved that. Rangers and Roma from those pot 1 teams, a few half-decent away trips there to Hoffenheim, to Hungary as well, away to Galatasaray, which will be tough, but that is going to do it for the stream. Thank you everybody for coming along and chatting in the comments and getting involved. As always, the support is really, really also lovely to see, and I love doing these live streams because I love chatting to you about it. I will do a live stream on Monday. My next live stream will be on Monday, breaking down the Newcastle game. We're playing them on Sunday. I will put a reaction video out on Sunday as well, straight after the game, and we will have a breakdown on the Monday. So make sure you tune into that. If you are watching this after stream, or even now, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, that is going to do it from me, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend. If anybody's travelling up to Newcastle, have fun, enjoy it. Let's hope that we can just make sure that we don't get absolutely battered, because I know we're not playing until Sunday, but it just always ruins things, doesn't it? Let's see. But yeah, turn notifications on if you are waiting for the Newcastle preview video. I've talked about the lineups, the issues, where Newcastle's threats are, and how I think the game is going to go. So yeah, enjoy. Appreciate everybody for coming. and catch you in the next one. See you later. And as always, come on, you Spurs.